Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the Double Stuff Podcast, where we're double the hosts, double the topics, and double the fun. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Charity. And that's it.
And that's it.
Once again, we have the sister show, your favorite and ours.
But in this case, it's not fully the sister show this time. We're actually going to have a best of our after hours. It's been a while since we've kind of showcased those.
So we're your hosts. So come sit down, have a nice cup of tea.
And listen to bloopers.
And everything else in between.
Bloopers and outtakes. So that's always the fun part because we're always recording. So it picks up meaningful conversations as well as just...
not meaningful conversations.
Yeah. the meaning of and the meaning of not. So hopefully, like Charity said, sit back and enjoy. And we'll come back right after this.
Ba-dum-bum. You'll have to take our word for it. Butterfly in the sky. Okay, I feel like this could be a drinking game. How many Reading Rainbow / LeVar Burton references / Star Trek references have we made on this show?
It really came to a head when we were doing our icebreaker thing, or our TV hypotheticals.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be Alan was borrowing LeVar Burton's grill. That's what started the whole thing.
Oh no! Maybe someday we'll have LeVar Burton as a guest on Double Stuff Podcast.
Oh, 100%. Let's do it. Let's do it.
You hear that, Mr. Burton? We're coming after you.
Okay. It's a threat now, or else.
Three, two, one. Hey everybody! This is the double.
You want to start over?
Do it again. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Double Stuff Podcast, where we're double the host, double the topics now, and double the fun. And I'm Alan.
I'm Dan.
Oh!
Double
Failure.
the host, double the introduction.
Double the interruptions.
I'm also Dan.
All right. You want me? I can count myself in.
I got it.
And
Start.
Oh.
Go. You count yourself in.
Are you counting in?
You count.
Okay.
7, 6.
And 3, 2, 1. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Double Stuff program. But it's like the shark teeth where you have...
Oh, we have like two of them.
rows.
Yeah, you have like rows of them.
teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh.
Some people have like 3 rows of teeth.
Oh, that would be uncomfortable.
Creepy.
Like the Grinch?
Well, yeah, I guess.
That's the immediate extreme of the Grinch.
Yeah.
Grinch has like 2 or 3 rows of teeth.
Someone
He
smiles,
does?
you look like you're gonna steal Christmas.
What is that
No
in the
termites.
thing?
And the animated one, because he's like, I must find a way to keep Christmas from coming.
Yeah, they have a close up of his
And when he
face
says
for
that, he has like a couple rows of teeth
He
when he
has a lot
says
of
it.
teeth.
What?
Well, there you go.
I never noticed them.
Yeah, so when he said that, my mind went straight to the Grinch.
When we were in Paris, like there wasn't a whole lot of options for us to eat stuff. So like we would go to the little cart that they would pull out onto the street or whatever and make crepes.
Yeah.
So he actually went
walk
like to
around with
the local vendor. and
Yeah,
did all
but it
that.
was just like, no, I'm not gonna pay all that money for like escargot and like
and that's
Coke
what
or whatever.
the vendors that cash in on for the tourists who are trying to save a few bucks.
Their stuff probably isn't nearly as processed as our stuff.
Monsieur, we don't sell spoiled food. And
That's right. Everyone here is happy.
sorry, France.
It's like French Godzilla.
I don't think that works quite the same way.
With the beret
Yeah.
and the striped shirt. He's not even roaring because he's like miming, right? So he's not even making a sound.
Godzilla stuck in the box.
Godzilla played by Marcel Marceau.
Godzilla shows up and they're like, Sacre Bleu!
I was listening to The Woody Show this morning on the way to work, and they had a list of words that were now being added into like the modern dictionary. I guess with the rise of like ChatGPT and just how things have changed, like certain slang words and even text speech, unless you're just trying to be lazy, you don't have to do it now. That's also allowed in like term papers and stuff.
Well, then what's the use of really learning grammar and stuff if we're just going to be talking the way we usually do? We speak differently than we write typically because we don't always speak grammatically correct.
like our teacher, when she was like, when you write your papers, you can't just Google something. She had us use like medical journals or like the stuff that you would have to go to the library for, because they have access to literary journals and medical forms and stuff. And so one of the examples they gave on the show this morning, like social media speech, if you're going to write NGL, that's not going to lie, blah, 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 blah. They were saying that now you could use that in a term paper.
Nah, that's not professional.
So I'm trying to imagine if I'm reading some medical journal from some brain surgeon and
NGL, you've got cancer.
Yeah, and at the end he's like, NGL, your brain is a mess. Like, or whatever. Like, I don't know if I could take him seriously. If he's going to spend all that time in school and have all those letters after his name and have this big plaque on the door and all his degrees on the wall, and he's going to say NGL, like, no, I'm finding another brain surgeon, thank you.
BRB, making a diagnosis.
Yeah, your brain is busted. No, sit down. Go home.
I'm not a huge milk chocolate fan, but I've always loved Kisses.
Who doesn't love a good kiss, Alan?
You know what? I think because your teacher always had like a bag of Hershey Kisses just laying around. It's always an attaboy or an attagirl kind of a feeling every time I pop it. I'm like,
yay. See, for Hershey Kisses, I always like the white chocolate.
Like the peppermint ones?
Yeah, they have like peppermints inside of those.
Those are really
good.
Those
are the ones.
Those are dangerously good. If you had a bucket of those, you wouldn't see them again. I would put them in that case and just walk out.
Take off candy? What candy?
Yeah.
It's not that I can't go buy it or anything. At work, they give you like a $50 or whatever, and they have like a store that you can buy stuff from. So they had a tin of popcorn on there, and I love tins of popcorn. Those are the caramel, the butter, the cheese ones, right? $35 for a tin of. I'm like, no, I can go down to the store and buy one for $5. I'll take the gift card, thank you.
Like $30 is for the tin, the other $5 is for the popcorn.
I was like, I'm not gonna pay $35 for popcorn I'm gonna eat in a tin I'm gonna throw away.
And then the tins are so small now.
They are.
Like when we were kids, we actually have one of the big tins. We pack all of our ornaments in there, and that was back in the day when it used to be huge.
It used to be a big size tin.
All right, let me finish this Kit Kat.
Jeez,
Welcome to the Double Stuff Podcast.
Double stuff.
We double stuffed our mouth with Kit Kat.
I think Cheney Lake has a boat club. El Dorado Lake has a boat club.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Obviously,
news to me.
I don't rub elbows with the hoi polloi.
Oh. No. Well, go ahead. Let's. I don't know how to get out of this.
Well, let's sail off. You can do it.
You're giving the wrap up, and I'm just like, how do I get out of this?
Let's put on our shoes and run away.
All right, hold on, I got.
Okay.
I'm gonna slip on my boat shoes and let's sail off into the sunset here. Tell me why I should watch Elvis. I like Baz Luhrmann, but I don't like Elvis, and I don't really like musical biopics. Sell me on it.
I enjoy music and fashion and movies from that era, and I thought he did a really good job in historically portraying that era. Even though it's done as a surrealistic, very stylized, there's still a lot of historical accuracy to it.
See, that sounds interesting. That's why I liked Rocket Man versus like Bohemian Rhapsody. Rocket Man was just sort of like his experience, like from his point of view, and it was very fantastical and over the top.
And I know a lot of people call Elvis a musical. I personally don't think it's a musical. It's a biopic about a singer, so of course you're going to have music in it.
Well, with musicals, there's show-stopping numbers, but with Elvis, it's part of the story, so it has to be in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
About 4 years ago, I watched the Elvis documentary, That's the Way It Is, where he actually performed in Vegas. The way they edited the movie was very similar to how they edited the documentary. It looked like it was like a branch from the film that I saw.
Oh, interesting.
So it wasn't like we're watching a movie, it's like we're coming in on excerpts of what's going on. So it had a bit of a backstage feel to it. It added more depth versus, hey, I'm Elvis and let's do an impersonation. We want him to be Elvis. You can tell because he spent 2 years studying mannerisms. He read all the books. He looked at all the movies. So he studied him so much. He kind of became him.
So even if I don't like Elvis, the craft is there.
The craft is there.
Okay.
Also, I think as someone that's a big fan of media and editing and stuff, I think you would like it for the production value.
I'll definitely check it out then.
It's very nicely done. No, you gotta at least learn some of those rules.
They learn them, they're just not using them. But but we'll edit that part out.
Sorry, that was a Three Stooges sound. Y'all getting in my hair.
Okay. Okay, I recover from this. Ooh.
My wife woke up the other night and she was like, "Who's Joanna?" And I was like, "I don't know." She said, "Wrong answer." And I was like, "I don't know a Joanna." And I was like, "Where did this come from?" She goes, "From my dream last night." I was like, "You cannot hold me to a dream. That's crazy."
She's paraphrasing Reservoir Dogs. She's like, "You cheat on me in a dream, you better wake up and apologize."
That's right.
You need to turn it back on her, being like, "Who is Michael?"
Okay, that's
like,
two fabrics now. You said Joanne, and I was like, fabrics? And then you said Michael, and I was like, wait a second.
Trumpet was and is my favorite instrument.
Except for French horn, which is way better and superior to yours.
At least ours make triumphant entries.
French horn is what you see in the medieval.
Stick your hand up in there, and then it goes blow into it, and it's like, oh.
You think it sounds like it's been goose? Never mind, that sounded weird. I was saying les blow. That sounded weird.
Stupid.
I didn't realize until
Le blow.
it partially came out. I'm like, oh man.
I decided to spend my extra money that I had not on a computer. I got a TV. It's been like a decade since I upgraded my TV. So I finally got 4K.
Wow.
Finally got 60 frames or 60 megahertz. Yeah.
75.
No, 55.
80.
No. Well, I was going from a 42.
Yeah.
And we went in there, and I had planned on purchasing a 50. That was my whole thing. It was like, okay, I'll just, we don't have that big of a space. And then we went there, and we were looking at them, and my wife is like, that 55 is only $50 more. You sure don't want the 55? And I was like, do you want the 55? Because she doesn't like big TVs. And she was like, I don't care. She's like, you want it more than I don't want it. The stupid thing was, I got my little Camry, right?
Yeah.
I pull up to the front, and they bring it out, and they start putting it in the back seat. And I have the seat pulled forward, so that way I figured they could just slide it in the back seat, no problem. Nah, it doesn't fit. It never even occurred to me that 55-inch TV wouldn't fit in the car.
You're driving home holding it on the top of the roof?
Almost. So what we did is we popped the trunk, laid the seats down, laid the back seats down, started pushing it in there. But the seats don't go flush, right? They kind of like sit up a little bit because of the padding and stuff like that.
Right.
And the interior of the trunk has like sort of an outline to it. We're pushing it in, and then as it's getting lifted up in the front, it's getting stuck. So it won't go all the way through the trunk. We can't get it in the trunk either. So eventually what we do is we lay the passenger seat down, push the driver's seat all the way up, angle the TV, kind of lay it like down, angle it from the driver's side back seat all the way across and lay it across the passenger seat that's like laid down, right?
Put
now the
Sally
seats
in the truck.
well, that's the thing. Now the seat's all the way forward, so I can't drive. My body will not physically fit between the seat and the steering wheel.
Right.
Hers will just barely. So she's driving home. I'm sitting on the edge of the passenger seat with a TV in my back, like the edge of the box, still, buckled in, of course, safety first.
Yeah, it's safety first. You got a glass and plastic jammed in your back.
But she's just like, if we get into an accident, not only are we done for, that TV's done for.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but we made it.
Two Dans.
I think the word okay itself is sort of slang, but then it was shortened to an O and a K.
Just like in a high school, it's not specific enough. You can't just say they're okay. And how? How are they?
Mm-hmm.
Is their breathing regulated? Has their temperature gone down?
Mm-hmm.
At least in the medical field. I can't say that for other professions.
Well,
but
even in the papers that I wrote for school, for media classes and stuff, I'm not going to be like, oh, this camera's okay.
because okay sounds kind of negative. It's like, it'll do.
Yeah.
But we can get something better.
Either that, or are we allowing emojis in term papers? This camera's okay. Like you got a thumbs up and a little winky face or something.
I feel like that's just being facetious. Like,
if it's allowed now, I mean, things have changed.
how's the prognosis look? Winky face. Will Grandpa Joe make it? And you have the shrug. You have the shrug about Okay, so we're doing Would You Rather. Each of us should have 3 questions.
I'll keep it holiday.
Oh, why does that sound so suggestive?
Look at that face.
Don't know about that.
Charity.
Yes.
Would you rather?
Would you rather kiss me or the salami? That sounded weird.
I got dirty quick.
That got weird.
That's
Salami's gonna
that's
give you
completely
way
different
more.
game.
This is an after hours
Yeah.
episode.
Oh, I didn't realize what I said until literally a
Just
second
the
ago.
salami is not PG.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
I don't have a salami.
Got a roll of pepperoni.
My favorite topping.
Oh my god.
Merry Christmas and joy.
Yeah.
Something that we don't celebrate, but yet somehow exists.
I don't know how to stretch out this episode.
No. Our next topic is going to be...
I don't.
A little peek behind the curtain there. I got nothing.
No, that's as far as it goes for
We're only
Christmas.
12 minutes
I
in.
know. I was
Darn
looking
it.
at the clock. I was like, there's no way I can stretch this
Our
one out.
second topic is talking about our favorite summery frozen
I can do that.
treats.
I can get it back
So
in
I
there.
figured we could talk about ice cream,
Yeah,
popsicles,
sure.
stuff like
I can get
that.
us back into that.
With Christmas snow and snow cones. And,
Yeah, snow cones.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, here we go.
All the movies since the first one are all about like bigger, badder, like more, right? Even like the second one, which was also Spielberg, they just introduced a bunch of minions that are able to get killed off like throughout the movie to make it like bigger. But the first movie, the themes of that movie are about the dangers and importance of technology, right? Alan Grant and John Hammond embody both of those themes, and every single person they interact with and every single thing they do challenges them on their themes. That's why that movie is so good.
It's that man versus machine stuff that you learned about. You know, you have man versus man versus himself, man versus higher power.
Does it have to do
machine.
with like quality of writing? You know,
It could be. I think it's also just like people were like, ooh, big dinosaurs fun, you know, and like, so we need bigger dinosaurs now.
I think that they did a really good job of adapting the very in-depth themes that Crichton was writing about.
Yep.
And Crichton's book was a whole lot more into the Frankenstein.
Oh, absolutely.
Of utilizing DNA technology.
And that's a lot of his books too, because I mean, his whole thing was like he loved technology.
Yeah.
And was also like, this is why we should fear technology. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he wasn't like
Oh,
technology
yeah.
bad, and this is just he was just like, I'm all about technology,
Well, that
and we
was-
need to be careful.
Yeah.
are we sneaking in a third episode? I feel like this is where we're heading.
I
I'll
know.
let you
We
know
probably
if we're
should.
recording.
No, we should stop.
One thing that the Harmon DNA has been passed down over the generations is extremely huge sweat glands.
I know. We didn't get any of the Jackson side.
My mom doesn't sweat,
mom-
or she slightly glistens. But,
She-
but the
she
Harmon
sparkles.
side, I feel like
Jackson
we
Sparkle, Harmon Sweat.
Oh.
No Arizona tea today, Dan.
No, I didn't have time to run. I wanted to get over here. I felt like that last Coke that I opened up, it was just like never stopped. There's like more soda in there than a typical can.
So be careful if you go in there and you start seeing. Almost said beverage bubbles. Caffeination.
Yeah.
Beverage bubbles?
Carbonation.
Hashtag
Carbonation.
beverage
I don't know why.
bubbles.
Like that room
words.
in Willy
Yeah.
Wonka.
That's right.
Burp,
Charlie,
Charlie,
it's
burp.
the only way. So I was on my way to Dillon's. Actually, I had just pulled up at Dillon's and I was checking my phone, and some lady, like, she didn't tap on my window, but she was like gesturing. And so she was probably about mid-60s, you know.
Of course she was.
So I rolled my window down probably about an inch, and she was like, "You seem like a really nice woman." Basically
good
with
start.
That, yeah, with that with that preamble, I'm like, okay. And she was like, "You know, if you keep your motor running, you're killing the polar bears. The emissions and the carbon dioxide or whatever."
How'd you get
monoxide."
here, lady?
Yeah.
I almost said it, and she was like, "Yeah, you're killing the polar bears." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know." And then she got all huffy with me. She's like, "You don't watch the news, do you?" And I'm like, "I do. I just don't know if I heard that
There's
part."
a war going on too.
And she was like, "Well, you seem like a nice person, so I just wanted to let you know." And then she just kind of left. And so I was like, what the heck just happened? I was actually going to go into the store, and I was like, I don't want to bump into her. And so I
You're
was
a
like,
better person than I. I would have followed her throughout the entire.
You should have found her in the store and just be like,
entire
"Wow."
store.
In
Yeah.
the Klondike bar with the polar
Like,
bear on the front.
You know that packaging is plastic.
Yeah, right.
Sarah is very nice and very sweet, and she's not the type of person to do that.
Yeah,
However,
non-confrontational.
if Karen approaches me, then we will have a talk. Maybe.
oh,
Goodness.
yeah, because I was like, oh man, I had my first Karen at the car door window encounter.
Yeah.
I was like, it's all true on this. Now, I mean, that was a nicer one compared to some of the other ones I've seen.
Like the closest polar bears in Alaska, like
Yeah.
the northern tip of
I
Alaska.
don't
think.
even think we have polar bears at the Sedgwick County Zoo.
No, I don't
That
think
would
we
have
have.
that would have been
We've
closer.
got a koala bear.
I honestly wish she would have come up and like do that to me, because I'd be like, all right, well, we're gonna do this now. Let me tell you about
Yeah.
all the companies and your own carbon footprint. Now it's nonsense.
Yeah.
You know?
Let me unlock
man.
the door, sit in the passenger seat.
Yeah,
This is
we'll,
gonna take a while.
You should hop in. We can crank the AC, because we're gonna have a long discussion right now about what actually causes climate change.
Well, boy, oh boy, wasn't that a great show?
Oh, stimulating conversation we had with each other.
Well, one thing's for sure, we always have a great time with the Double Stuff podcast with us two and our crew who is not here in the studio at the moment, but here in our hearts and our minds. Actually, it sounds like I'm reading their eulogy.
That took a different turn there.
Either way, we always have a great time here, and we hope that you have a great time listening to us babble on about anything that comes to mind.
Yeah, that's a dangerous thing.
But always a lot of fun. Thanks for listening today.
Yeah, so if you want to listen to all of our other episodes, please do. We have over 170 episodes on our website at doublestuffpod.com. You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram, and of course on YouTube at Double Stuff Podcast, and of course on Twitter,
Twitter X,
parentheses X, at Double Stuff P, and that's the letter P.
Ba-dum-bum.